Stay tuned next for our Game of the Week, high school football on TV7, TV 34, a presentation of TV7 Sports. Our Game of the Week, local area high school football, coming up next.
As the sun is setting on Billy D. Cook Field, so are the hopes of the Cougars. Doing something they have neither done since the 1990 campaign is to beat the Strider Rams. Their hopes are still high. And hosting a 2-3 record, this game is also crucial for the postseason action of Calhoun Academy. Something they haven't seen in 10 years when the Cougars lost 13-0 in the Shrine Bowl. It was downhill from there, but now with a rejuvenated offense and two young new coaches, Calhoun Academy is turning what used to be a weak program into something to be proud of. So will tonight be the night Cougars finally beat the Rams of Strider, or will it yet be another note in the Ram Cougar history book? We'll know after 48 minutes of high school football action from Billy D. Cook Field. We will now take a break. You're watching 007 TV, Bruce, Calhoun City.
And we'd like to welcome you all out to the ball game tonight as we're a little late getting started, had a little technical difficulty, and hopefully we'll be able to work things out throughout the ball game. But we're starting off here with Strider with the ball around the 35-yard line. So Strider comes in this ball game after defeating Humphreys County last week 21-0, a team that the Cougars was lost to 20-0. So this should be a good ball game here, as I'm joining up here tonight by Marsha Browning and Chris Chandler. Of course, I am Adam Gore. You're watching Calhoun Academy football here on TV 7. Second down and 6 to go.
Misdirection given in, and number one, we do not have a name for the Strider Ram, but he will carry the ball in for a touchdown. Strider runs a misdirection sweep and then hand off to the inside and runs down the sideline for a gain of about 60 yards for the touchdown and score the ball game. So, Adam, we look here. Cougars come out last game. They scored the very first drive they had and went on to win pretty good. But as we've seen early part of this year, that they get down early and they just keep themselves and keep down, and they get themselves down in the ball game early and just have to dig a hole and try to come back.
Yeah, that's been the case for the Cougars this year. If they can come out with a sort of a defensive stand strong in the first part of the ball game, they'll be able to do pretty good. As that last touchdown run was run by number 1 Scott Andrews of Strider, and the 2-point conversion fails for Strider, so the Cougars are able to hold them on the 2-point conversion. So your score is going to be 6-0 here early in the first quarter.
Well, Adam, we come out, and Scott Andrews was one on the touchdown run, and we seen where he just had the defense completely fooled. They faked a sweep off to the left side and just gave a good misdirection handoff back going toward the inside off the tackle, and he was able to break it for about 60 yards. So let's hope Cougars can get something going here on the offense. I know they've had a good offensive showing last week against Winona, but as we say, that's a different ball game. They got to come out tonight here in this ball game and try to put some points on the board in themselves and try to just keep themselves in the game here with the Strider Rams.
That is true, and that's one thing the Cougars will have to do. They'll have to keep their heads up. This is a strong team right here, as Nathan James is going to be the one set to kick it off for Strider here after they get that 6 points.
Stegall and Parker back deep to receive for the Cougars. Cougars are trying to get something going. And the kickoff is back, and it will be received by Rusty Stegall at about the 15-yard line. Is up the middle and breaks it toward the outside for his tackle and put down around the, let's say, about the 38-yard line, 39-yard line. So the Cougars begin 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Adam, we've seen that we try to watch the Cougars this year, and it seemed like early on they just can't get their offense going. It takes them a few series to try to get their offense going, get their mindset on the game, and really go into it. But tonight, we know, as well as I do, with Strider, you got to go full blast the whole game.
Yeah, you can't let up on this team. This team is traditionally strong. It don't matter if everybody say they're going to have a weak year, they're still going to have a winning season. The Cougars, as you said, they're going to be on top of their game tonight against this Strider team.
Stegall and Parker in the backfield. Stegall coming off of a 245-yard effort last week. It's hoping he can try to get it tonight as Hamilton in motion and sweep off to the side to Stegall. A little bobble with the ball and step through, and he is gang tackled for about, let's see, no gain, like number 74 and number 22 and on the tackle. So first play from scrimmage, Cougars looked a little jittery. A little pitch to Stegall. The bobbles was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Should be second down and 10 yards to go. Adam, have you heard anything much about Strider and what they look like this year?
The Strider team's looking good as always. I believe the last I looked, they was tied, which they should have went over after beating Humphreys last week for first place in the division. I don't know how well Central Holmes did last week, but there, as you see, Tyler Parker with the give. But I believe Strider once again is on top of the division, on top of their game, and they're just going to put up, see who's going to try to stop them in the division this year.
Well, it did say Calhoun traveled to Humphreys a couple weeks ago and had a loss there, and then last week Strider played Humphreys and was able to beat Humphreys. So I guess it still a lot of motion goes into the ball games. I know Strider's a real big rival with Calhoun, so it's anytime you can come up against a rival, both teams going to play very strong. You know, even though one team may come out and win pretty big over the other, it's still going to come out and be a hard-fought battle.
Yeah, that's been the case throughout the years. They've always had hard-fought battles. You see Rusty Stegall there fighting for what little bit of yardage he can get. And you could easily say the series has been lopsided in Strider's favor, but it don't stop the Cougars from coming out with hopes that, hey, we can beat these guys. All we got to do is come out here and play our A game. But as you see, the Cougars are going to have to go punt here, so that's going to put Rusty Stegall back to punt. But the Cougars, if they can just come out and get their head up and keep in this ball game, keep it close, we see them come out second half, and they have strong defensive stands. So just keep the score close here in the first and see what their offense can do.
4th down and 3, and it'll be a punt by Stegall. Gets it off a good punt, and they're retrieved by number 22. He is around the sideline, is in and is tackled in. Looks like number 12, Jordan, number 42, Jesse Turner. So the Strider Rams get out their second series starting around the 36-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 Strider.
Yeah, Corey Wilson was the returner that time for Strider, so he did a good job that time. He sort of just lowered his head and ran over the man to see what he could get. But the Cougars right here need a big defensive stand. Strider went down the field and scored quickly, so the Cougars will want to try and just stop them here and see how well they can do here on their second possession of Striders.
We have it at 1st and 10. 1st and 10 for the Strider Rams, and they've come in like a power eye offense. Pack is given to the back, and he is stuck hard, very hard, stuck hard in there. We're getting a little number on it, like number 31, Rusty Stegall, and he had delivered his head and gave a good blow to the running back. I tell you what, that'll get a good momentum going right there.
Yeah, that's what you like to see right there. You want guys to come out there playing with raw emotion, not the type of emotion that's going to get you overzealous and just do things to hurt your team, but use it like you did there. Just take it out on the ball runner and make a good hard lick and a tackle there for Rusty.
We're going to be 2nd down and 10 to go as they go in a little tight formation. Penalty flag down. We'll see what the referee has to say about it. Well, I tell you what, it looked a lot better this time than it did last time. I mean, 2 plays and a score. That's kind of got to hurt your feelings, but Cougars got to dig in and play great defense.
Yeah, that play right there was offsides against the Cougars. So after that good play by Rusty Stegall, it's negated after they get 5 yards on the penalty. So it's going to be 2nd down and 5 to go. But that's one thing the Cougars want to do. They can't let something down like that get them down. It's the little things that really get this team down and just sort of drops their head. If they can just keep their head up and play strong and stay in the ball game, their season could be 3-2 right now, or could be totally different for the Cougars.
Well, Adam, as we know in football, you still have the rest of this quarter, and then you got a whole another quarter. You got whole 3 more quarters to go, and there's a sack in there by Jeremy Brown. So a great play in there, keep standing himself at home and getting a good rush on the outside by Jeremy Brown and sack the quarterback. So to bring up say 3rd down and about a long 6 coming up, maybe short 7 coming up for the Strider Rams. But I tell you what, Adam, we come in, we've seen a lot this year that we know that this is a big game for Calhoun, and in order to try to make the playoffs and try to get themselves eligible maybe for some postseason action, they need a win here.
Yeah, that's right here. If they could pick up a win here, it'd be huge for the Cougars, especially with the #1 team in the division. And as you said, there's a big run by number 22 as he hops over one tackler, but touchdown saving tackle made that time by number 61 coming in from behind. Tackle made by number 61 for the Cougars that time, as number 22, Corey Wilson, was almost broke it free that time as he just hopped over the last man. But as I said, it was a touchdown saving tackle that time for the Cougars.
But Adam, we don't like to see that. We like to see when they get third down long yardage, we have to make them fight for their first downs. But, you know, great blocking up front and great line play for the Strider, just able to create a hole for the running back to get through. We're here coming in at 1st and 10 now for Strider around a little past midfield of about the 47-yard line of the Cougars. Give number 44 offside, and a good stick in there by Rusty Stigall. Stigall is making himself known on the inside, cutting the gaps and getting a good shot on the running back.
Yeah, you know, they allowed that long run just in, but they've got a lot of momentum going right now for the defense. The guys are going in there. It is not taking more than one guy bringing it out tonight. They're all going in there hitting low, tackling like they're supposed to, doing a good job of just making their solo tackles. I believe that's going to be the third for Rusty Stigall tonight. Maybe they can carry some of this momentum or some of this intensity from the defensive side to the offensive side of the ball.
We do need a good offensive showing coming up here to be second down and look like a gain of maybe 1 yard. Pitch outside, and he is still dancing around. And I tell you what, Adam, they're using their quickness to get outside and just bust the holes through the Cougars defense.
Yeah, that Corey Wilson, and he's doing a good job of just zigging through that time as he's quick on his feet. As Jonathan Stigall was in on the tackle that time, as he was just able to dance around and just dance his way up and gain about 5 yards. Going to bring up third down and about 2 to go for the Rams.
What we here? We need a big stop here by the Cougars. I know they're down, and I guess you could say 4-down territory being this far down. But they need a good stop. Maybe a loss of some yardage would help out to get the Cougars a good chance of, you know, getting a turnover. But give in to the number 44 there, and he is knocked down and tackled there by Pepper Watts. But after a gain of looked like maybe about 10 or 11 yards.
Yeah, the Cougars, I mean, they get them down there and they hold them to where they got the possession down, but they just can't stop them on that third down conversion. Strider is yet to be stopped on a third down conversion as we have a referee timeout. I believe it's going to be a water break, and we'll take a break with them. You're watching Calhoun Academy football here on TV7, TV 34, Bruce and Calhoun City.
Action here at Billy D. Cook Field, 5 minutes and 43 seconds to go, and time is ticking down in the first quarter. 6-0. We'll go 1st and 10, pitch out wide. And he is knocked down in there by Stigall, so Stigall in on another tackle. Adam, all they're doing is just like they're just sweeping back and forth and running little misdirections off tackle and getting a lot of yardage.
Yeah, they got a lot of speed in this Corey Wilson kid. They pitch out to him and let him dance around. You know, he's quick on his feet and light on his feet. He's able to make good cuts and quick cuts, but Stigall able to do a good job that time just getting an arm in there and tripping him up.
Cougar looking for his little stand here. It brings up about 2nd down and about 7 to go. Under center, fake in the misdirection, the same play they scored the touchdown on, but this well defended in by Tyler Parker and Rusty Stigall in on the tackle. Well defended that time. Wasn't able to get fooled and able to stay at home and make the tackle. Adam, we've seen that play that time, so I wonder if Strider come out with any other kind of play, kind of misdirection, trying to catch Cougars off the hand.
Although we said it earlier, they took it in for a 60-yard score, but they're doing a good job with the misdirection. They're mixing up the run wheel rail tonight, and they're really sticking to it. Hadn't had to put the ball in the air yet.
They go be 3rd down and about 6 yards, long 7 to go. Markers fly. Maybe have to wait for the referee's decision. Look like it might be offsides against the Cougars again. So that's 2 penalties that have hurt the Cougars. Just able to keep the ball going for Strider. Just keep pushing the ball down the field. Instead of being 3rd and long, it's now 3rd and short, about 3 yards to go. So, Adam, we just seem like the Cougars just kind of getting out of their game plan, just letting everything get to the head right at the moment.
That's right. And this is a young, well, not really a young team. This is just sort of this team right here, they got a lot of talent, and they're just sort of over-anxious, I guess you can say. They've had a lot of hype coming into this season, and I guess you can say they're disappointed on the type of season they had, as you see Tyler Parker with the tackle that time. It's 2-3 record. This team right here is a lot better than that. They just had a lot of tough breaks early in the season.
Tyler Parker was on that tackle. But again, they just keep moving the ball. They're just steadily pounding the ball up to our front line and trying to get to our linebackers. And Abel doing a good job. The running back's doing a good job of getting the yardage that he needs. And there's another first down for the Strider Rams. So to bring up first down from about the 15-yard line. So 15 yards, pay dirt for the Strider Rams. Cougars sit in on defense. Give in and tackle made hard right there by looked like Jeremy Smith. To Jeremy Smith, at the end, he was able to break through the line and get a good tackle.
Yeah, the give was to Wilson again, but Smith was right back there almost with the handoff. You know, Jeremy Smith just sort of wrapped him up as soon as he touched the ball and took him down, so it lost about 2 yards. So it's going to be second down and 12 to go for the Rams.
As Adam said, second down and 12 yards to go. We're looking at a Cougar defense that's, I don't know, they've lost a couple people. I know Brandon Lofton is out. We don't know when he'll be able to play this week or next week, but he was on a strong part of the defensive line. They're doing a good job just, I guess, basically filling in the gaps with certain people. Right now they just need to fill in the gaps. The quarterback keeper on the outside and being run out like he was run out. And he is scored. He is in on the touchdown. He's able to keep his feet in bounds. Adam, I thought they had him. Maybe knocked him out of bounds, but he was able to keep his feet and get in for the score.
Yeah, the Cougars are trying to say the ball came loose before he scored, and there's a big pileup in the end zone. But either way that goes, the officials said he was across the plane by the time the ball popped loose. So that was a tough break there for the Cougars. As the Cougars did recover the fumble. But either way it goes, it did put 6 more points on the board.
Well, it's 12-0 to right at 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Pinning the PAT for the Rams. Like they will go for the 2-point conversion. Tell you what, 2 quick strikes by the Strider Rams is really damping the spirits here around Calhoun Academy country. A little delay in action. The referees comes up, get the ball set. Snap into the quarterback. Quarterback keeps it in and looks like he will score the 2-point conversion. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter is 14-0. Strider Rams leading Calhoun Academy. You're watching TV7 Bruce, Calhoun City. We're back here for the kickoff. It'd be number 45, James, in on the kickoff for the Rams. Tyler Parker and Rusty Stegall back deep to receive. Kickoff looked like we'll go into Rusty Stegall on the run. He got a good break. He kicked it up through the middle, and he was tackled in like around down by the 39-yard line, so they get the ball back to the same place they had it last time. After 2 back-to-back scoring drives of the Strider Rams, I tell you what, looked like their offense. I see why they was able to come out with a victory against Humphreys last week. They looked very good, very solid on offense, and looked very solid on defense.
Well, they're executing. That's the key to football right there. They're executing what blocks they need to block, and they're keeping the key blocks in the play. You know, they're not having anybody who's not involved in the play taking just straight off and not doing his job. This is a well-coached team, and the Cougars right now, they just need to just try to get something started on offense.
Pass in by Chandler, and it is caught, looked like maybe for the first down for Jeremy Brown, completion of about 12, 13 yards. So I tell you what, we have seen many plays from the Cougars where they have really come out for the very first pass and got a good strike, but I'll tell you, that was a good fake, a good ball movement, and it will be a first down for the Cougars. Good ball movement and able to get the pass into Jeremy Brown. Adam, I've been kidding Jeremy. Everybody knows him by Dudley all week about he's been wearing his little gloves, I guess, his receiving gloves. Everybody trying to I guess he's trying to be like everybody, all the NFL people wearing these gloves, but I've been kidding him all week about wearing his gloves and telling him to play like Wayne Corbett from the Jets about having no gloves on, just trying to play natural, the way he was when they had against Central Home when he caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone. But he still believes in them things. He's going to wear them. I will still kid him about it the whole time through, but that was a good game, a good pass, and get some good confidence going in the passing game, very early going.
Well, I'll tell you what, right there was a good strike from Chandler to Dudley. And so we saw 2 weeks ago in the Tupelo Journal, they was both the number 3 quarterback and the number 3 receiver in the Northeast Mississippi. So get a little bit more connections like that right there, and the Cougars could move all the ball on down the field. But, hey, they can never come out and play good right there on that pass, so I stick to it.
Well, I'll tell you that right there, keep the defense honest. as a move Stegall up the middle, a gain of about 4 yards. That will keep the defense honest. You're able to mix in some passes and rushes. You just get out there and try to rush the ball back and forth across the field, especially against this Strider defense. It's going to be kind of hard. If you can get a couple passes down the field and then maybe running to keep the defense honest, and be able to gain some yard and move the football down the field.
Yeah, that is what they need to do. They just need to take and get not big long passes, but short passes like Strack to Dudley, although it did pick up the first down, but just get some confidence behind Chandler. That's all it's going to take for him. Just get some confidence in that pocket and just trust his lineman. And then, as I said, he throws great in practice, so, just come out and just play like he's in practice, and he'll be able to do a good job in the ball game.
You have Hamilton in motion. Comes out. Bacon there into the fumble on the play. We had to see who it comes up with. And it looked like the Rams will come up with the ball. So the fumble on a play by Tyler Parker, and the Rams come up with the ball. I'll tell you what, that's a momentum killer. They got it going and got it past the 50-yard line. Looked like they were doing pretty good. Didn't have like a few yards to go on second down, but costly turnover, it just really hurts the ball team.
Yeah, that's one of the things right there we're talking about. The Cougars, they get momentum going. They always have some little mistake that just comes up and kills them, although that's what's going to be labeled a major mistake right there. But, these guys, they'll think about it in the fourth quarter. They'll think about, well, we fumbled on this play right here. We're going to do it again. It's been just been that way in the past for all these Cougar teams. They really get down too easy. They just need to keep their head up and just come up with a big defensive play here.
It'll be 1st and 10 from around the 39-yard line. And then the quarterback keeps it around. It'll be a pass going deep out down the sideline. And it is dropped. Great defense out there by Stephen Conley on the pass. And I tell you what, that was real close to being picked off.
Yeah, if Conley just sort of turned his back to the ball, sort of just stuck his hand up there the last second, batted away. Good defensive try right there by Conley. But as you said, if he would have been one step quicker of turning around or just turned around a little bit quicker, that would have been an INT right there for the Cougars and a big defensive play, as we said they need to pick up here. But either way that goes, that is going to be the second down and 10 to go for the Cougars. So just hold them here and see what they can get out of this defensive go.
Adam says 2nd down and 10 to go from the 39-yard line. Cougars need a big stand there. Strider Rams have had 2 back-to-back scoring drives, and again the quarterback runs out for a pass and it's caught out in the flat, like wide open, knocked out of bounds by Conley, and Hamilton. But that play right there, the Cougars had it a while ago. They had a good defensive stand where they had the quarterback sacked, but the quarterback was able to complete the pass to number 1, Scott Andrews, out to the side. So a big play again, just really hurts the Cougars and knocks them out, gets the drive keep going for the Strider Rams.
Yeah, you probably can think what's going through their head. You're like, hey, we come up with a big stop, and then they just come back and strike again. But that's the Strider team. The Strider team don't keep their head down. They're like, oh, well, they stopped us. We'll take and bust a big play right here. They got confidence behind them. That's one thing the Cougars started off the season with, but you can tell it's slowly dwindling away throughout the season. These guys, they're like, we come out here, we practice our butts off. And, other teams come out here and, we're 2-3. We should be 3-2 or 4-1 right now. But the Cougars, they really think, I guess you could say they think into things too much. They get their head down too early. I've been saying this all night, but this is a good team we're seeing on the field, a whole lot better than 2-3.
I'll tell you what, Adam, it's all about the confidence level. They come out here and they heard what happened to Humphreys and what Strider did to Humphreys, but you can't let anything like that intimidate you. I mean, you got to go game by game and play game by game and just get out there and play, play as good as you can, as hard as you can every play. You can't let just, what happened with one team last week or 2 weeks ago, affect how this game's supposed to go. You got to get out there with your confidence and get in there and play football and stick it out hard.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing right there you could say. It's like that movie, Any Given Sunday. It could be any given Friday. Anybody can beat anybody. It's just whoever comes up hyped up and who wants to play, who wants it the most. This Cougar team can get out here and really just execute plays and not get down on themselves. It's like, hey, look, they're going to get a long yardage on us. Let's take and stop them here. But this Cougar team right now, they just need a big stop. If they can get a big stop on defense, they can get confidence and momentum back on their side.
Here to bring it down 3rd down and about 4 to give in, and he has broke it up through the middle. And another big gain, again, right at the end of the first quarter, so it'll be 1st and goal from about the 2-yard line here at the end of the first quarter. It was Strider Rams leading 14-0 over your Calhoun Academy Cougars. We're back to action here at Billy D. Cook Field. It'll be 1st and goal starting at the second quarter for the Strider Rams at about maybe 1-yard line. give in to the back, and he is over the goal line. It would be a touchdown. Be number 22. It'll be Wilson for the touchdown. It'll be a touchdown again. So starting to very much of the second quarter, just like much of the first quarter began. A quick strike, quick score for the Strider Rams. Put Strider up on top right now, 20-0, pinning the PAT. So I tell you what, Adam, it just Strider just really coming out and just playing football and just really making their mark of how dominant they can be.
Yeah, right now this Cougar team needs a leader. You know, you look on the field, you don't have nobody out there hollering, directing traffic, telling them get out there and let's play. You know, the Cougars right now, they just need somebody, they need a leader. You know, they need somebody to be a vocal person on their team, step up and take the role as a leader. You know, that's one thing. You have players out there, you got Rusty Stegall and Dudley and Josh Chandler, you know, they're seniors. They got to show their leadership with the guys, regroup the guys, say, hey, guys, keep our heads in it. Look, we can, if they score that quick, we can score that quick too. It's just, we just got to want to do it, which is going to have to be the case here.
That is key to it. Is you got to want to, even though you are down 22-0. I mean, no game is ever over with. You have to get in and fight tooth and nail to the very end. You can't give up. You give up. If they give up now, they might as well just gave up at the very beginning of the game before the team ever took the ball. But as we say, there's still 3 more quarters to go, and anything can happen. But Cougars need to get alive, just really step up and play football because, Adam, we're seeing right now that Strider is pretty dominant. They're running the ball well, they've passed the ball well, and they're just really getting out there and sticking it on defense.
Yeah, going back to that point you're saying, we still got 3 more quarters left. It's like Fred Smoot said on his website, you know, about the Auburn game. You know, it ain't over till the final horn rings. So that's what the Cougars got to look at it as. They got to just take a page out of Smoot's smack, I guess you could say, and just keep in this ball game.
Kickoff goes into Stegall. Stegall fields it on the run. He breaks it outside and is not able to get around the end, so he'll be down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars at about the 29-yard line. So Cougars trying to get an effort going here and get something going on their 3rd series from ball. But as we had a little errant comment made in here. But anyway, we coming in with 11 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the second quarter. Adam, we have to get something going here. They come out a while ago and just run the ball, and getting a few yards, but a fumble hurt us a while ago. We got a good pass and gained some yardage. So looking to maybe try to open the offense up and get some big plays out of certain people. Yeah,
we need to go to the Hal Mummy style football here. We just need to take an air ball out. They're successful on their first passes. Chandler's going to roll out there. He's got a lot of pressure, but he airs it out.
That ball will be intercepted. Intercepted by number 1. Is a little extracurricular activity going on after the play. That pass will be intercepted. So that's not 1 turnover, now 2 turnovers, and that kind of hurts because that's on Cougar side of the field. Not too much farther to go for the Rams. But a little extracurricular activities, a little pushing and shoving goes on, but I guess that goes on in every football game.
Yeah, you know, even though they throw that interception, they got to look at that little push right there on the players. They can't let – see, that's one thing the Cougars are letting them do. They're letting these teams push them around like that. They're taking it. You know, these guys are not fighting back. They're not – I guess you got to say they got to get mad, you know. Like, look, we're tired of taking this. They just want to get in there and return it to them. Don't be the weak team on here. Just come out and I tell you what, if not taking the scoreless ball game, earn you a lot of pride and get some respect.
That, I mean, it's true. That's all about the intimidation factor of everything. As number 22 gets around the end, blocking behind him. He's stuck in and a tackle is made in there by Pepper Watts. But I tell you what, it's like we was talking about the intimidation factor. Strider comes out here and just gets some intimidation going, get in the heads of the Cougars. As Wilson on the carry gets around outside and has a big gain of about 35 yards down to about the 7 or 8 yard line of the Cougars. So another big gain is as many times as they had tonight. So they're again knocking on the door to maybe put some more points early in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Coach Wingate's got something to say to the officials. But I tell you what, the key thing to that right there was on that play, you had 3 linemen going down the field blocking for the running back. So they got good lineman speed, but they got guys for Strider that's huge down there blocking against our secondary, which is going to be easily overmatched as we have a timeout called by the Cougars. But Coach Wingate had something to say to the officials, which he does. That that push while ago was well after the play was over. A flag should have been thrown, but that's, as you said, that's part of football. You just got to get over that and just come out and take, and I guess you say, get your own payback for that. Although we're not promoting the extracurricular activity of football, but as we said, that's part of it. But you gotta have your self-respect more than anything, just not to take that. But the Cougars right now, they're not really executing on anything. They had an interception, and then turn around, and they allow a big run by Wilson, as he's really been eating up the Cougars tonight against the Cougars. So right now, CH just got to find something. They got to reach down deep inside. If not, pull it from just the pride factor, as I said once before. This team right now, they're down 22-0, and it's not even halftime yet. But the Cougars have just got to, if not anything, just keep it close. As we said, they're a good second half team, and the first half once again killed them.
Strider will come with the ball 1st and 10 from about looks like maybe the 7-yard line. They have the big fullback in the backfield, and he receives the ball off the tackle and looked like he would be in for the score. So to begin, big plays and just actually running the ball over. Hard Wheels gets the carry for the Strider Rams, and again another score is 28-0 here early going in the second quarter. Adam, I don't know about you, but I tell you what, this Strider team looks real dominant. And I tell you what, I see why they're leading our conference right now.
That is true. We're talking about the Cougars having to reach down deep, but hey, this is a good team. Coach Bradshaw's always had a good coach team, and he's doing. And this is an example of it right here. This is a dominant team. They've kept it on the ground. They've always had good running backs and strong running backs. As there is another give that. No, he's going to back it out to pass, but this time the 2-point conversion fails. So the Cougars will be getting the ball on the kickoff. But as we said, this is a dominant team. They're getting it done on offense. They got a good, quick running back in Wilson. They've got number 44 Wheels, a big, strong fullback. They've got linemen. I was watching the speed of linemen while I go get down the field. They've got amazing speed with linemen getting down the field and blocking on a running play, getting the secondary blocks, which is key. You block the secondary and the lineman, and you break the line, and there you go. You got nobody to get you on down the field. That's the way they're coming up with these big gains. So you got linemen going down the field, doing the extra things, giving that extra effort. And right now the Cougars, they can't get their head down. They want to stay in this ball game and just see what they could do here. You never do know. The ball, as we talked about the over a while ago, the ball game is not over until the end.
It'll be another kickoff, another attempt to receive a kickoff by the Cougars. They've had 4 of them so far this game, so let's see what they can do on this one. Stigall, it's a pretty good return. Maybe hope can break it out and break it open and maybe get a little bit of momentum going for the Cougars. It's time to ball, and it will be received, this time a little short in there by Pepper Watts. Pepper Watts sticks his head in, and another ball is loose, but like maybe recovered by Davis. I tell you what, it was just what the Cougars really needed, is somebody stick their head and just run the ball. But I tell you what, a good pop and a good fumble called by one of the Strider Rams personnel was able to recover the end by the Cougars here. I tell you what, that right there, another turnover would just been really, I guess you could say, really, really disastrous for the Cougars.
Exactly. But going back to what you said, Pepper Watts took the ball, put his head down and ran. He didn't wait for nobody to get there. He didn't wait for the defense to meet him down there. He didn't try to go around nobody. He just ducked his head and ran. Of course, Strider got the head on the ball and popped it loose. But, I mean, Pepper Watts showed a little aggression that time, and that's what we need to see out of everybody right now. The Cougars got to sit there and just sort of take it back right now and just play hard football.
Stigall and Parker in the backfield, and Parker takes the handoff and goes nowhere. Like he maybe gets back up to the line of scrimmage, so to bring it down, he actually lost the yard. No, it didn't. He is no gain, so it'll be bring up 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Tell you what, they have not been able to just really get anything going. They've had one couple of good runs here by Stigall and Parker, and then a pass from Chandler to Brown, but other than that, there's just not many bright spots on their offense tonight.
Right, and one place this team's getting dominated right now is on the offensive line. They had 3 guys on that tackle right there from the defensive line to Strider, and the Cougars are just not getting anybody to fire off the line.
Again, a sweep what Cougars used speed and get outside and blocking by either Stigall or Parker all year long, and they're just not able to get outside and get around the corner and get outside on this Strider defense. Strider's doing a great job of containment. and also doing a great job of blocking up the inside and clogging up the holes. Cougars really need to get something going on offense. Chandler brings a call play into the line of scrimmage, into the huddle, and Cougars come up to the line of scrimmage. Be about 3rd down and about 8 yards to go. You have Conley and Hamilton out wide, and Cougar, and you have Parker and Stegall in the backfield for the Cougars. A sprint out. Pass is incomplete, intended to Hamilton. Chandler is taken down after the pass, but Cougar will be forced to punt. Tell you what, Adam, they just look out of sync. They just look basically dead on their feet tonight, not getting out, not firing off, not playing football like we've seen in a few games they've played.
You know, that's not credit to being out of shape or anything. It's credit to the 28-0 lead here before halftime. You know, the Cougars have already got down on themselves, and that Stegall is going to be back to punt as we have 22 Wilson to receive, but it goes to number 7 as he reverses the field.
He's around outside and finally brought down outside by Tyler Parker on the outside. But I tell you what, just big plays just steadily hurt the Cougars. We've seen a big pop outside over on the sideline. I tell you what, Cougars is doing a great job just getting, basically to me tonight, getting manhandled. I don't want to talk bad about them because my brother plays, but they're just not playing football tonight. I haven't seen anything from them on not one certain play. Tyler Parker is on the tackle that time, but also Strider's doing a great job just coming out here, showing their dominance, just being real physical, real strong, and just actually putting the intimidation factor just way up against the Cougars.
Yeah, and that hit right there was just an example of it. The whistle had not blown yet, so he's still going full speed, and that's what you're taught to do.
And again, another break on the outside. And Andrews on the touchdown. That I tell you, just every touchdown they've had, it just hadn't been grueling and run it down. They've had a bunch of runs of at least 25 yards more where they've scored on it. I'll tell you what, if it keeps going like this, Cougars got to do something. They're just getting blowed off football and have to rely on their safeties and cornerbacks to make tackles, and that's just not going to cut it with the line actually getting out and putting blocks on them.
Yeah, you don't like to see that. You don't like to see anybody in your secondary leading in tackles or anything, because that means they're getting big yardage on you. As we have the play stop before the 2-point conversion could get started.
We have flag waiting to see the referee calls. Offsides against the Cougars. That is 3rd and 1 tonight, so half the distance, so it'll be about a yard and a half to go for the 2-point conversion. Adam, I don't know, the intimidation factor is really getting down. I keep referring to intimidation factor, but that's basically all it is. It's what has been happening all these years when Calhoun has played Striders. Just Striders come in a lot bigger and a lot stronger and just intimidated the Cougars completely through the whole ball game.
That is a fact, and I think right now, more than anything than intimidation is respect, and that's what Striders come out to do. You know, the Cougars, I guess, I don't know what to say. They're like, we're feeling good. We're going to beat this team. They come off a big win, 34-0, and they're coming out now, and they're just getting manhandled. You know, the Cougars have to respect a team like this. This Strider team is a great team, always has, and I don't want to say it, but it looks like always will be. You know, this team's always been good as long as Coach Bradshaw's been there. He's always been able to bring in talent, and not really outstanding talent, but he takes what talent a player has and uses it on the field where it needs to be used. You know, he's able to see talent and put it to where it could be most effective for his team.
Again, it'll be another kickoff by the Strider Rams. Again, another able to return by Stegall or Parker. It looked like Hamilton will place Parker back there to receive the kickoff, but 9:12 to go in the second quarter, and it's 36-0. Strider's really showing the dominance that they have in this conference right now is the way they beat Humphreys last week and the way they are playing against us this week. The ball goes into Watts. It's like he takes a knee, but it wasn't called. Takes it outside. He's running toward the outside and finally drugged down, and maybe drugged down around the 41, 42-yard line. So Adam looked like he may have touched the knee down when he caught the football, but we'll take any kind of yardage that we can get.
Just sitting back here being quiet, I kind of noticed that the Calhoun Academy Cougars they do look kind of down and out like y'all said, but one thing, Strider's not really running any spectacular plays or anything like that. The first of the game they run a misdirection play, but that's really the only thing they've run. The rest of it's been plain Jane football. They've just been running the football and blocking, and that's what you got to do in this kind of game. Calhoun Academy just got to step up and kind of stop and maybe try to score right here while they're on offense. They had a big run, maybe that'll get some motivation going for them.
It was 9:03 to go in the second quarter, 36-0. Strider Rams leading Calhoun Academy Cougar. We'll take a break here. You're watching Channel 7 Bruce TV 34, Calhoun City. The action here at Billy D. Cook Field. Cougars take the ball 1st and 10. Giving there, and it is stuffed. Looks like maybe Turner in on the run. I tell you what, they're not going to get too much upside in the middle of that line by Strider. Marshall, what have you seen on the offense the Cougars need to do?
I don't really know. They just need to really get something going. It really don't matter what they do. They just need to make some blocks and go through the holes and really get something going here. They've had a pretty good bit of success with passing this year, so maybe they need to throw some passes, open up them holes there.
Come up in the end, it'll be 2nd down, and it's like maybe 12 yards to go for the 1st down. Chandler drops back to pass. Hits a fly on the outside. He just throws it up, and it'll intercept it again as Hamilton will be on the tackle. We have another interception, so I tell you what, they can't get anything going either way. So, and being his brother, I know how things go with him and everything. He throws he throws one good pass, and he gets good, and his mindset is pretty good. But when he starts throwing a couple bad passes, it just gets to his head, and it's like he's through it until something else good happens, and you just can't be like it. You got to, once you take one bad play, you got to put it behind you and keep playing football. And Cougars don't look like they're doing that. They look like they're just taking every bad play for every bad play, and they're just getting whooped up and down the field right now on both offense and defense side of the ball.
You and I play golf. It's just like that. Once you hit a bad shot, it's behind you. It's over with. You got to put that behind you. There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is come out, not force anything, but just make something solid on your next outing. So that's what they need to do. They need to come out with some solid plays, just get positive yardage with the offense.
That is true. I don't guess Cougars have one big play back where they look to, really look to have something going. They really set up to one certain person and really try to make something happen, but it's a team effort. It takes all 11 guys on that football field to make something happen, and all 11 guys need to come together and try to do something there. And again, another big run in there by the Strider Ram. They're just really basically blowing the Cougars off the ball, just running the ball up the middle, run the ball outside, passing the ball to the flats. So they're doing everything you could ask for on offense right now.
Yeah, right now the Cougars just need to get physical. Hey, if you got a guy running through there like that right there, take and light him up. You got to earn your respect. Take and put some helmets on some people, even if it's away from the ball. You got to get out there and just give your all during the whole ball game.
Play outside, and he's drugged down by Tyler Parker on the outside. So that was actually a great play that time because they wasn't able to get outside. Parker was able to run the man down, so bring up 2nd down and about 9 yards to go. So I guess you can see a couple of bright spots on the offense. On the defense side of the ball for the Cougars, be 7 minutes to go in the second quarter, and I keep mentioning the time because I guess I just want the time to hurry up and run out and maybe get in there. We have a flag on the play. Like it'd be maybe a 15-yard call against the Cougars.
Sportsmanlike conduct.
Looked like it was unsportsmanlike conduct against the Cougars. So I guess when it goes bad, everything goes bad.
Yeah, I believe they're going to call for maybe a late hit or a hit out of bounds right there on number 61, Cody Gaston. I really didn't see who it was, but that's who the officials told Coach Wingate he was, and he's checked out of the ball game, replaced by number 42 for the Cougars.
Ball is kept in there and kept around on the end. Tackle we made out there on the end, but looked like by Rusty Stegall and Pepper Watts. Bring up 2nd down to be Jesse Turner in there on the tackle. So bring up 2nd down and about 8 yards to go. Adam, we've seen all night long where they just Strider's really gotten the ball and just marched it up and down the field, big runs. They're able to keep some stuff going and able to just, I guess, wear the Cougars defense down from the get-go.
That's a matter of fact. I guess you could say, many times these two teams play, as long as Coach Bradshaw's been at Strider, he knows what it takes to beat this Cougar team. He knows if you can get their heads down early, and it's hard for this team really to just focus on the positive, for the Cougars. Every time something goes wrong, everybody seems to get down, even if they're not on the field, on the sidelines. But right now, you hear Strider fans up hollering and everything, and the players are staying pumped up, even with a big lead. So right now, whenever the Cougars do something big, they need to come up pumped up. They just got to build on anything, take anything and build on it right now, and that's what it takes to get started. You can't say you can't get a landslide with just like everything going at once. You got to have just one little factor starting it all off. So that's what the Cougars need.
Adam, you know as well as I do, even with a big rival like this, you're not going to see them basically any kind of let up. They're just going to try to run the ball up and down the field against the Cougars. They ain't going to try anything fancy, just run off tackle, off guard, and maybe sweep around the end. But Strider's not going to try to be shy about putting points on the board.
Yeah, we have a water break here called by the officials. We'll take it with them. We're watching Calhoun Academy football here on TV7 Bruce, TV 34, Calhoun City.
And we're back to action. Ability Cook Field, 4 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the second quarter, 36-0. Strider Ram leading over the Calhoun Academy Cougar. We've just heard the score from the Bruce and Houston game, and Houston is leading 23-0 over Bruce. So the county team, we haven't heard anything from Vardaman or Calhoun City, but like so far, two of the county teams have really not done anything. A flag down on the field on that run. We're waiting to see the referee. Like to be hold, preliminary call to be a hold against the Rams. He talks it over to the team captain Stegall, and it is a hold, so back up 10 yards from the play. I guess that's basically, I think this is the first penalty we've seen from the Strider Rams. It's not.
Watching the ball game back here, I'm one of these firm believers in you can call a holding call any time of the ball game, but any play of a ball game. But they seem like they have been kind of wrapping up on the line, and I've been noticing that, but I really hadn't said anything about it. Like I said, that is one of the calls that you can make all the time.
It is a good point. I guess you could say every play is a holding play, but just people kind of get away with it. That's the name of the game. What you can get away with is what works. Like Rams is getting away with everything because they're making everything work tonight. The pass outside is tipped up, and it is caught. So it looked like Hollis will have a tip and an interception over there by Hollis. So I tell you what, one bright spot for the Cougars is Tyler Hollis has the interception. So that's one turnover. I tell you what, Adam. It seemed like people had picked on Tyler Hollis in a very early part of the season, throwing passes over there, but he's a little man, but I guess, big things can happen.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was thinking myself. I was thinking, this is a little kid right here. He's going to get picked on all season. But, hey, he's impressed me during the regular season. We saw him in the Delta scrimmage game, and they just ran his side all day. But Tyler, hey, he's come out this regular season and showed, hey, I might be little, but you still have to earn it on my side.
Cougar ball given in to Stegall, and he just dropped maybe a 2-yard gain. We don't mean to sound like we're trying to pick on anybody, but I mean any kind of bright spot right now for the Cougars is a good thing to talk about. Stegall had a big game last game against Winona with 245-yard rushing, and tonight they're just not able to get anything going. The Strider's able to block up the hole, block the gaps up in really negating the Cougars of any kind of big gain or big opportunity of pushing the ball up the field.
That is true, right now the Cougars they got to get intense, They got to all run up to the ball and be physical, Don't check and just wait for the holes to open. Take and create holes, run over them as we have a flag called. We'll see what the official's going to say here. It's by the back judge, so see what he says. And, that's a delay of game, but that's the referee's call, in the backfield. That should have been called by the back judge there. So, I don't know. That's the first time I've seen that. I don't know why he's keeping up with the time. I don't know if that's something the referees talked about before the ball game, But all the referees sort of looked at him and was like, what are you blowing the whistle for? But flag again, I believe that's going to be the 5th flag against the Cougars, and Strider's won.
Come out and be 2nd down and It's like a long 13 yards to go, and it's shoveled out, and it'll be fumbled in there and picked up again. Another fumble, so it'll be picked up. I guess they're just playing pitter-patter with the footballs. Chandler had an errant pitch out to Stegall and wasn't able to receive, and all the Cougars look like they're just, again, down on themselves and just not able to get anything going. Adam, I don't know about you, but look to me, I'm just ready for halftime to get here.
Yeah, you really hate to look at a ball game like this. We're here at Calhoun Academy, but the Academy's really not doing anything to get anything positive talked about. They had the interception, but then they have the turnover. So right now the Cougars are really shooting themselves in the foot. They're not building off any positive things they have. But the Cougars, they need to come out and play big. This right here, we've seen this before, against the Cougars. It's first down and goal to go, and they're going to go for a field goal here is Strider.
Oh, yeah, Adam, sitting back here once again kind of being quiet. I played Strider many a times as being a past Cougar, but there's been a few times that they have kicked field goals on first downs on us a lot of times.
We will take a break at 3 minutes, 26 seconds to go in the second quarter, 39-0. Strider Rams leading Calhoun Academy Cougars. The action here, the kickoff getting ready to receive. We have Stegall and Hamilton back deep to receive for the Cougars. Kickoff is underway. Like it will be short in there to Tyler Parker, and Tyler Parker receives it up, gets a couple of blocks. He is again down around maybe the 39-yard line.
11 down to Parker on the return.
It'll be 1st and 10 to go from the 34-yard line of the Cougars. We just keep trying to hope and wait and see if they can get anything going here. We have looked like maybe a timeout on the field. Yet Cougars call a timeout on the field, and we will take a break. And you're watching Cougar football here on TV7 Bruce, TV 34, Calhoun City. I guess everything going right now for the Cougars. That's kind of a little heartbreaking. The first down, come out on first down with the ball and you kick a field goal instead of trying to go in and score. So I don't know if you take that as pride, not trying to run up the score, or take that as trying to just hurt somebody's feelings, trying to kick a field goal on first down, knowing that you can score anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I was a Cougar, I don't care if they could score on us. I'd still much rather have them score on me than kick a field goal on first down. I'd take it as insulting, And, that could be something they could build on. They've got to come out with some kind of intensity, just show some intensity, Even though they're down 39-0, they've not showed any emotion tonight in this ball game.
Ball giving in and going across. It was like a sweep to Stegall. Stegall is brought down. Cougars just not able to get anything going on the rush game. And going about what we was talking about, Adam, I know probably you and I are probably about the same. We're both really competitive in everything that we do. And when I'm out there playing in anything, I don't care from checkers to basketball. I want to be competitive. And if you're going to beat me, I want you to beat me bad. Don't just try to let up or do this thing or do that.
You notice Rusty Stegall there tried to do a little juke and move on the guy there, but to me, I like a back that runs at him, and as big a back as he is, he really can't be arm tackled. So he needs to just run with the football. Chandler drops back to pass. Pass intended for number 15.
Number 15 will be Hamilton, and it's out of bounds, overthrown. So I guess they're just trying to get anything going. It's like a whole new group comes out on the field for the Strider Rams. It'll come down and it'll be 4th down. So like Cougars will punt the ball. It'll look like they will punt the ball. 4th down, we've seen this to them when the Cougars played against Hebron. Hebron, it didn't matter where they had the ball on 4th down. They were going to go for it. But like Cougars will go ahead and punt the ball. As a late report in there by Hamilton, they didn't have enough men on the field. Stegall up, and the punt in there by Stegall and received by number 22. And it'd be tackle made in there by Hollis and Chandler. Strider will have the ball with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. At about, say, the 42, 43-yard line to start 1st and 10. Well, we're looking up coming up tomorrow, a couple of SEC games and teams in action. I know, Adam, you and I we're going to look ready to look forward to that ball game against undefeated South Carolina and undefeated Mississippi State. South Carolina, I've watched them one time this year, and I tell you what, they remind me a lot of the Mississippi State, especially on defense.
Yeah, I tell you what, Lou Holtz has done a great. Great's not the word for what kind of job Lou Holtz has done. He went from 0 to 10, 0 to 11 to be undefeated so far, 3-0, 4-0 on the season. So hey, you gotta give Lou Holtz a lot of credit for the program he's turned around at South Carolina. This is not going to be an easy game here for Mississippi State. You know, a lot of people thinking, oh, well, it's South Carolina. They're chalk up a win. Not this year, buddy. I tell you what, this game right here is going to go all the way down to the end. You know, it's going to be a defensive battle. I haven't seen South Carolina play this year. I don't know what kind of offense they've got, but we know we're going to see some great defense.
I'm glad you mentioned that about the offense, because I was reading in the Tupelo Journal earlier part of this week, and Jack Sherrill said something in there that really surprised me. He said, if you want to scout what kind of game this is going to be between Mississippi State and South Carolina, just watch the Peach Bowl from last year from Clemson and Mississippi State. Said their offense is basically like Clemson was, and the defense is basically based just like Mississippi State's was. So we should see an interesting battle tomorrow. Maybe not much on the offense side of the ball, but should see great defense.
Yeah, I'm not looking for this ball game. The final score might be 17-14, anything like that. I'm not looking for this ball game to get past the 20s in the score. But hey, we might be surprised. You know, I wasn't expecting State to do what they did against BYU. They come out whole first half, and they didn't even look like Mississippi State. I got scared, to be honest with you, there for a moment watching the first half. But then the second half come around, and we saw the offense we're used to.
The basic old Mississippi State offense. So Ole Miss will be have a bye tomorrow. So they won't lose, that is correct. The handoff given in out there, and that will be the final play. Well, we have a flag down, so we don't know if it'll be the final play for the half or not. You have to wait and see the referee's decision, like maybe a face mask or a late hit. Waiting referee's decision. Have a face mask against the Cougars. So it'll be first down, and look like the game can't end on a defensive penalty. Like they will have one play left. Probably just tuck it in and run the ball, or you never know how it's going to go. They may try a field goal from here.
Yeah, you know, you just look for Strider, just come up to the ball, just down it, you know, go in with the halftime lead they got. Really shouldn't hope not to see Strider running in a touchdown here. That would really be devastating for the Cougars right now.
And it is a down by the Cougar, and that will bring us to halftime. Your score 39-0. Strider Ram leading Calhoun Academy Cougars. You're watching Calhoun Academy football on TV7 Bruce, TV 34, Calhoun City.
You're watching the Game of the Week on TV 7, TV 34. Thanks for watching your community TV station.
We'll get ready to sit for the second half action. Here's the Cougars down in this game 39-0 at halftime. We've heard scores in another game. It is Houston over Bruce 35-7 at halftime, and Vardaman leading 55-0 over Hamilton at halftime. So Vardaman, a little scare last week against Smithville, has really come out and put the hammer down, I guess, against Hamilton so far in the early part of that game. Be a kickoff here, and it'll look like be Hamilton and Stegall in the back, and it'll come up short and go to Pepper Watts. And he hit and taken down pretty quickly there around the 22-yard line, 23-yard line. So Cougars have ball 1st and 10. Start the second half about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, we'll go back to talk about what we was right before halftime. We'll talk about a little SEC action. But as we was talking about, we had State, South Carolina. We had to talk about State, South Carolina game. It's going to be a real big defensive battle, as you said. Looking for just a replay of the Peach Bowl. That should be a pretty big ball game in South Carolina. And you know what? I'm a State fan, and I'm really not looking for State to come out with a win in this one.
Bite your tongue there. I'm always looking for State to come out with a win. I tell you, State. I don't know. I think State's offense is kind of a little waking up again this year. This coming up tomorrow, and put a couple points on the board and able to let their defense just relax and play. As they said a couple weeks ago against BYU, just give the defense at least 17 to 20 points, and then they'll win the ball game. But I guess up in the mountains of Provo, Utah, that kind of got weary and tired against the Bulldogs defense. But again, they had a big show, and they're looking for hope of a big showing again tomorrow as they put up one of their good top-ranked defense against South Carolina. We're getting here in action. Chandler sprints out with the ball to Conley. Pass out to Conley. It'll be out of bounds. So it looked like a little action, a little shoving after the 5 yards. But again, I've seen a couple of times this year the play is not called. Another game we'll be looking at this week will be Alabama. Alabama plays who this week?
Arkansas.
A big battle for Alabama this week as they coming off a 21-0 upset, I guess you will, from Southern Miss. But I guess I've kind of seen that game coming. I kind of predicted, on my own that Southern Miss will come out and win after they had a good and, impressive showing against Tennessee.
Yeah, everybody's like, well, everybody's in the back of everybody's head. Southern Miss is going to win, but they're like, well, it's Alabama. Southern Miss can't beat Alabama. But they come out, executed early, got some breaks, and really just sort of killed the momentum from there for Alabama. So I predicted it. I predicted Southern Miss would beat Alabama. As you said, incomplete pass there intended for Jeremy Brown. But we'll get a prediction from Mr. Alabama and Marshall Brown and see what he thinks about this Arkansas game.
Being an Alabama fan, 2 losses this season, I'm really not going to say a whole lot about them. I'd rather not talk about it. But going to the Mississippi State and South Carolina game, I firmly believe that South Carolina has really not proven enough to beat State. I really think State will come out ahead on this game. Yes, they did knock off Georgia, but then again, in my eyes, I believe Georgia was really overranked at the start anyway. And
that would be a good point. I don't know. I thought Alabama early on in the season was a little overranked. Also coming in ranked 3rd, and then coming off of. They had a big loss against UCLA, but UCLA has really proven themselves coming through there. Adam has picked it. We always talk sports early on in the year, and then Adam picked UCLA to have a big year, and so far they are. They come off a good win against Michigan last week. But Alabama and Arkansas is always going to be a good game to watch. I don't know. I have my prediction. I figure after that defeat Alabama took last week to both have a good talk, good practice this week, and I figure Alabama coming in with a good win this week over Arkansas. It was 10 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the third quarter, still 39-0. It looks like we'll have a timeout on the field, so we'll take a timeout also. You're watching Cougar football on TV 7, TV 34. And we're back to action here at Billy D. Cook Field in the middle of the third quarter. Strider comes up 1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line. Cougars defense looked to come in and get something, I guess just maybe stop the Rams on a couple of series. There's a misdirection given in, but it's stuffed real hard, and the fumble right there, they will call it down on the ground. The fumble is recovered in by Jared Davis, and a good hit in there. I'm not clear, like Jeremy Smith on a hit. So Jeremy Smith or Caleb Winfield, one or the other, but I tell you what, it was a great play for the Cougars right there. So another turnover to get something going. And was mentioned a while ago while we were on break talking about the Tennessee and Florida game from last week. I watched that game from wire to wire, and I tell you what, I don't know, to me, they had a little talk all week from the SEC officials about the whether or not that was a catch at the end of the game. From where I viewed and where I looked at it, to me it didn't look like a catch. The receiver didn't have it long enough. But again, SEC is reviewed all week, and they said that they had a good game. It was a good catch. So SEC officials, they have the last final ruling on it.
Yeah, but look at it this way. Tennessee should have never let that ball game come down to that. They was within the red zone 3 times early in the ball game. Should have been up 21-0. But going back to that touchdown catch, if that's the case, if you even make contact with the ball in the end zone, it should be called a touchdown. As soon as he touched it, it dropped out. I sitting there watched it and counted 1 Mississippi, and it was on the ground. So if that's the case, any contact with the ball in the end zone is going to be a touchdown. But also, a little thing to talk about on ESPN, that the head official for that ball game was also the official that was suspended from that Georgia game. That you see a complete pass. If there's a flag on the play, the Cougars are still going. It's going to be a roughing the passer call as Chandler goes down late after the hit. But that's the same official that got suspended in the Georgia and Tennessee game.
Well, Adam, you're all right in that Tennessee-Florida game. I'll tell you what. Tennessee whooped Florida up and down the field, but Florida was able to pull the game out because they stopped Tennessee when it counted. And instead of having 7 points, they come out on a drive. They only got 3 points, and that right there just able to keep Florida in the ball game and let them come out with a win. It was like a good pass game, and then also a penalty tacked on after the play for roughing the passer. Chandler stood in the pocket on a cornerback blitz and was able to get the pass off, and then took a little hit like he was favoring his back. But I'll tell you what, Cougars have it down the field, and I just hope that they can try to get the ball in there and try to get a score, because they need some kind of momentum, just something to get in their heads if they were able to really play and finish out this game.
Yeah, the officials had a lot of confusion on that play. As they said, it was down on contact with the ball a while ago, and it looked like he put his helmet on the ball. It popped out before the player even touched the ground, and was this Strider running back. It was a good call. Finally, the officials finally got it right, and really don't know what's going on here. They're taking a lot of time just getting down the field, and I don't believe the officials are on the same page tonight. We still have a lot of confusion against the chain gang. There's going to be a chain gang confusion now. But the officials right now, as we saw earlier, they had a delay of game called in the secondary by the back officials. So I really don't know. Nothing really right now is going right here at Cougar Field.
Again, another completion to Chandler to Brown. On the completion a while ago, it was Josh Hamilton. So, again, Chandler and Brown on connection. So, Cougars look like they're just coming out trying to open the field up and, get the ball in and maybe throw to a couple of passes, because their running game is just not able to produce the yards for the backs. Strider's doing a great job of containing the backs tonight, so maybe they can get something going to the passing game, a little short pass instead of trying to throw them little fly patterns, getting the balls picked off and intercepted. Me and Marshall were talking earlier this week about this game and, how big it would be for the Cougars to actually beat Strider. This game's not over and anything can happen, but we got talking a lot about that ball will be picked off in the end zone. So on the outside, he's got a little bit of yardage, a little bit of outside contact. He's still on his feet, and his return out to about 20, looked like out to the maybe 25, 26 shot, looked like 27-yard line. So we got talking this week about Cougar maybe a lot of play action passes instead of just, trying to throw deep out patterns and fly patterns to the receivers. But that right there was another case with fly pattern where the quarterback just threw interception.
Yeah, it was the case. You look at this ball game right here, And you look at it, as you said, when Josh gets down, he's going to get down on himself. Hey, I threw 3 interceptions. So it's going to be hard for Josh to come back and practice next week and really get his head back on. But, hey, next week is Deer Creek homecoming. We'll be here for that. So the Cougars have got to regroup, come in here focused, and really use this game right here as momentum. You're saying, how in the world can you use this game as momentum? You got to look at it. They just got embarrassed on their home field by this team. But don't take anything away from Strider now. This Strider team right here is a dominant team in their division and always have been, as Justin White was the tackler that time on the play. But this Strider team is good. I don't want to take anything away from this Strider team. They're a good team. They've ran the ball well tonight and they've executed. Academy, this has not been the team we've seen this season. I guess you sort of say this is their down game. And you really hate to see it. You cannot afford in any shape, form, or fashion to just allow yourself to get behind this Strider team because they can really run the clock out with their running game. They got good, strong, quick, physical running backs, and they've done a good job proving that tonight.
There we see again another little powerful run up the middle of number 22, like Wilson. So it just keeps it going up the field and just running the clock down. But as Adam said, that is true. Strider just continues just to run the clock out and just run it up. But talking about the way the Cougars come out and play tonight, we've seen this also. I also seen this in the Humphreys game. They come off a big win against Hebron, really running the score up and just actually scoring and playing football. And then they come out against Humphreys and just look totally different. Doesn't look like they had any unity, playing with any kind of pride or anything, and just was whooped up and down the field all night long. There's another, like a hit in the backfield, the running back was able to get away and get some yardage up down the field, like up there around close to the first down. It'll be close. And the referee will have a measurement. We said it is 5 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the third quarter. 39-0, Strider leading Calhoun Academy.
We have a water timeout here, and I believe we're also going to have a measurement. I'm trying to just see what I'm guessing this year. I'm going to say this one's going to be just short, maybe by a link or two. I'm doing pretty good on my judgments, but Coach Wingate going back out there to have another word with the official.
This has really been a game of for the Cougars. The defense is killing the offense, and the offense killing the defense. When you have a team that is short on players like this, you have the same people playing, same bodies playing on offense and defense. And if you go out there and you have a bad drive on offense, it's going to have them same players down that has come out on defense down and out. And I think this is really what has happened to the Cougars tonight.
It is true. We're coming out here, and we will take a break right now as we have a timeout on the field. It's 39-0, 5:55 to go in the third quarter. Strider Rams leading Calhoun Academy Cougars. We're back to action here to bring up first down and 10. Like Adam was just a little wrong on his measurement call that time, but hey, nobody's perfect. We all get them wrong, but it did look a little short, but they did able to get the first down. We're coming up here, and we have no idea what the holdup is. Like they signal for the ball. Now they signal for the clock to run right now. Time is ticking down in the third quarter. Cougars come out on defense trying to get it a stand, just try to stop the Strider Rams putting any more points on the board. The huddle, and the ball is kept in by the quarterback. It's thrown to the other side where they have all sorts of blockers. And tackle made over there by Chandler on the sideline. So all kind of misdirection, and it looked like quarterback was trapped. Was going to get a sack, and he throws across the field. It had a bunch of blockers just able to get around. Chandler made a good open field tackle.
Yeah, that's a good job there by the Cougars. So they put a little bit of pressure on there. They haven't been able to get much pressure on there. But, of course, Strider hadn't thrown the ball that much tonight. When you're running the ball like you are, you really don't have to. But that's a good open field tackle that time by Chandler. Another thing we like to talk about, really thing that I saw in the preseason that sort of shocked me is the quarterback for Kentucky. I watched this guy play the other day. He's a big man, but he can throw. He's got great accuracy, and he's got a strong arm.
Yeah, that is true. We got talking about, because really we're talking about that because Ole Miss will play against Kentucky next week, and we know Deuce has a little slight injury to his shoulder, and Strong will be out most of the season. Local guy from Calhoun City, Chad Cook, had a great showing against Vanderbilt last week. He had 8 solo tackles, 13 assists, and 2 sacks. And he was looking to maybe get a job in going against that, I guess, really just throw the ball, and throw the ball type of offense that Kentucky has. 'Cause Kentucky can put up some points, especially with the quarterbacks they have. Strider comes back and back to pass. Just kind of hit Brown. Almost picked off by Chandler. Chandler just wasn't able to bring the ball in. But Jesse Turner had a great run in on the quarterback. Got a good little shot in, maybe hurt him, made him throw a bad pass. Chandler did break up the pass and almost intercepted.
You're very right, Adam, Chris, about the Kentucky quarterback. If anyone watching hadn't had a chance to watch him play, they really need to watch him play. He throws well. He's real big, but I tell you what, to be as big as he is, he can really get around on them feet. He's very light on his feet, and he can move around in the pocket, and he can also air out the ball.
We have a timeout on the field, and we will also take a break from action here at Calhoun Academy. You're watching TV7, Bruce, TV 34, Calhoun City.
You know, if this Cougar defense really wants to get back in this game, and this game could be really crucial, not only because of not only for the loss of it, but how bad they lose could really be crucial to the playoffs. If they could win out after this game, which they have a possibility of doing, they could be number 3 and get a wild card in the conference. This conference, very strong, usually does get the wild card. What the Cougars really need to do is stop them right here and get some big plays. They're going to have to score and score quick.
That was number 55 on the tackle there for the Cougars. And you're exactly right. They got to take and show, they want to come out and show something. As you said, this is a strong division and usually does get the wild card. I believe they was sitting 4th last time with the defeat to Winona. But now after this game, really don't know what the division is going to be and how it's going to be open here after this game right here. Of course, we don't know any other matches ups in this division this week. So
pass on that play right there was incomplete. Sort of bring up 2nd down and look like maybe 9 yards to go, 10 yards to go. Will be 10 yards to go, and then complete pass with 10 yards. I guess it'll be 10 yards to go. But look, I don't know, we're looking around the FCC, and I'm not sure who Tennessee or Florida has this weekend, but I know there'll be a big matchup in Starkville next weekend when the Gators come, I guess, trying to chomp into dog territory, and I guess that'll be a good test right there for the Dogs defense as they go against the big Gators offense. We have a timeout on the field. We'll also take a break. Here, the score is 39-0. Strider Rams leading Calhoun Academy Cougars. 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go. We're taking a break. We're back to action here to be 2nd down and 10 to go for the Strider Rams. It's about the 45-yard line of the Cougars. They give it in. The quarterback keeper around the end is pitched out. He keeps running, looked like, and he's still on his feet. I tell you what, that back did a great job keeping his feet moving. Took a hit, but kept on going. You had a tackle in there by looked like Josh Chandler and Tyler Hollis and Jeremy Smith. So all 3 in there on making some tackles. I tell you what, that running back did a great job and he shook off one tackler and the hit that he received and kept his feet going, was able to gain more yards.
Yeah, I tell you what, this kid right here has really impressed me tonight. He's easily going to be a selection for all division team, especially after his performance tonight. But that's the key thing you said. He gets hit, and it looks like he's down, but he keeps his feet moving. It sort of jumps, he's hopping around all the place, cutting, and making things happen, which is that's part of the success. Corey Wilson is part of the success of this Strider team.
It is true to bring up 1st and 10 for the Rams right now. They give in there number 44, and he breaks into the back into the secondary. Jeremy Brown, linebacker position, makes the tackle. So again, just big runs and gaping holes up the middle is able to allow the Strider Rams to gain yard after yard.
Yeah, it's true. And talk about a good running back. Let's talk about, you have to give one to the respect to Odie Armstrong. This is a point I noticed in the Smithville ball game. You know if you've earned respect when the announcer from the other school calls you by your first name only. When you run the ball, they say, give off to Odie. Everybody, that's when you earn respect. I think the only other most respect you can get is like Tiger Woods when he's leading or tied with somebody for first place. They put his name above everybody else when they traditionally go by alphabetical order, and Woods would be second in alphabetical order. That's just respect right there. And Odie Armstrong's done a good job of earning the respect. As you see, there's a good cut there by Wilson. That's what we're talking about. This kid right here, he's small, low to the ground, and he's able to move.
This kid is good. He's doing a great job this week. It's White that was in on the tackle. Then there's a late flag coming in. Matthew McCormick also in on the tackle. Like unsportsmanlike conduct on against the Rams. They backed the ball up 15 yards. Looked like they were in the huddle and maybe a couple of words were said that shouldn't have been said, but either way it goes, it'll come down, it'll be second down. And a long to go for the Strider Rams, the ball on the 30-yard line.
Yeah, going back to the fact that we're talking about Odie, and I don't know if it's a year for the Rams or what, but this Strider team right here is also the Rams. So both Rams, Vardaman and Strider's having a good show tonight. Of course, Vardaman was winning 55 to nothing at halftime, which that's nothing unusual for Vardaman. And this was touted to be a close ball game with Hamilton, but Vardaman stepped up and they've showed their dominance and really what they're going to try to do in 1A this year.
That is true, Adam. I guess coming off that very scary loss, very scary, almost upset by Smithville last week that Hamilton just didn't seem like any match right now so far for Vardaman as they come out to show their dominance and what they can do, and also in their division in Class 1A. There was another flag on the field. Wait and see the officials call here. A little conference by the officials set up like the Cougars are backing up like it may have been against the Cougars.
Yeah, I think that's what that is right there. It's just pure emotion. Just frustration is all that's going to be.
And there the announcer for the Cougars say it was a sportsmanlike conduct. So it'll be 15 yards added on for the Cougar, added on for the Rams. So to bring up about, really know yet, it looked like maybe third down and automatic first down on that play. So first down and almost goal from around the 10-yard line. First down and about the 11-yard line. Give him a powerful run off to the outside. Tackle made in by number 55, Matthew McCormick. So McCormick hadn't seen much on defensive action this year, but getting 2 tackles in there right now. Our wheels on the carry right there, get around the end. So Strider's steadily just pushing the ball down the field and down the field.
Yeah, they're not trying to run the ball. I mean, like run the score up or anything. They're just executing. They're still executing down throughout the ball game. They're not just purposely just running the ball. They're trying to run out the clock. There's only 100 yards and they're able to move it down the field with no problem.
Woods on the carry again up the middle. Jesse Turner in on the tackle. They're steadily just pushing it forward, and that will be the end of the third quarter. Strider Ram leading 39-0 over the Calhoun Academy Cougars. You're watching TV7, Bruce TV 34, Calhoun City. We're back to action here at Billy D. Cook Field, the start of the fourth quarter. Neither team was able to score in that quarter of play, in the third quarter of play. They've run around with the quarterback around the end like he is over the goal line and he will score. So quarterback keeper on the quarterback bootleg across the field. We have a flag on the field, so we got to hold on and wait about the points right quick. That's what the penalty call is. Had too many men on the field for the Cougars, so that penalty will be declining. It will be a touchdown. So the score right now will be 45-0 right now. Starting scoring in the beginning of the fourth quarter here. So. PAT is waited to be attempt like they would try to kick a field goal this time. Kick a point after attempt. High snap kick is like partially blocked by the Cougars as Jeremy Brown was able to get through the line and get a hold of the ball. So Cougars will have another opportunity of getting the ball and trying to get a drive and maybe get something going.
Yeah, you know, they want to bring out something, just something positive in this ball game. At least move the ball down the field. They're like, you know, the Cougars, they had things going and they have turnover. You know, they've really killed themselves tonight, but not taking anything away from Strider. This Cougar team really got down on themselves. But it's going to take a lot from Coach Wingate, Coach Jones to keep these guys focused and bring them into next week. And just remember, hey, this ball game's over with. There's nothing we can do about it. So they got a big ball game next week, homecoming. So hope everybody likes to come out and see this ball game here at homecoming for the Cougars. Of course, this is the seniors last year, so it's going to be a special game. And if not beat Strider, they want to come out and at least win homecoming. And that'll be another, if they could pick up the win, a division win, and could help out along down the road.
And we're talking about the homecoming game next week. We'll be here against Deer Creek, and Deer Creek is also a good rival of the Cougars, so that will be a good game. I guess as soon as the horn blows for the fourth quarter on this game, you have to look and just put this game behind you and get ready and focus on next week's game, because, you know, games go on, year goes on, so you have to finish and just try to play week by week. So next week they'll have Deer Creek here for homecoming, and also when you want to win your homecoming game, so that'll be a big game for the Cougars as they try to keep rolling on, try to get another win picked up into division play.
That is true. Plus another thing, you know, it's been 5 years in a row we beat Deer Creek. You know, used to be the same story with Deer Creek as it is with Strider. You know, Cougars went a long time before they beat Deer Creek, and they able to pick up that one win, I believe our junior year it was, against Deer Creek, and able to pick up that win and really hadn't lost to them since then. Had some blowouts, they've had some close games, and, you know, Cougars would like to keep that flow going against Deer Creek, you know, to sort of turn around the tradition there.
Cougars start up the ball to be 1st and 10 and about the 20-yard line. Chandler at center, they got all wides out. Pass out to Brown. Brown breaks it out in the open, and he is going down the field. I'll tell you what, Brown has another pass in play. Chandler to Brown, and Brown just broke it up between two defenders, was able to get a good big gain for the Cougars.
Yeah, that was a big play by Brown. Cougar fans sound like they like that a lot. It's going back to talking about the next week Deer Creek game. Yeah, you're right, Adam. We beat them the past 5 years. I was on that team my junior year when we beat them 21-20, which started the streak, and we're going to try to keep it going.
Good, that was a big gain. Chandler in a pass into Brown. Chandler's got 3 interceptions on the night, but it also had some big pass plays. I guess just the Cougars has looked real good on just short little passes out where the quarterback is just able to hit the receiver real quick and let the receiver put the ball in the hands of the receiver and let the receiver do his job. It looked like motion on the line of the Cougars. They wasn't able to get the snap count right and was able to move him before the ball snapped. But we've seen all 3 interceptions been on plays where has been like a fly pattern, where the quarterback has tried to drop back and wait the receiver to get open. And a lot of the big games on the passes where they've sat there, Josh has got it out of his hand, got into the hands of the receiver real quick and let the receiver gain the yard, get the play, and just go with it from there. So it's like me and Mark talking about a lot of play-action passes, but not necessarily play-action passes, but a little short pass can get big gains anytime.
That is the case. You know, they might need to shorten their routes down some. As you said, all 3 interceptions come on the long routes. As Chandler's back to pass again, a little quick pass out. But once again, there's a completion on the short pass, positive yardage for the Cougars.
Again, we see Chandler out to Josh Hamilton, gain of about, we don't really see right now. Look like it may have about 4 yards. So Cougars were coming in and be second down and about 11 yards to go. They had a penalty dropping back 5 yards in the play before that, but I tell you what, it looked good. They're just getting the ball and just getting down in shotgun formation, throwing the ball. I don't see why they don't do a lot of this a lot of times, you know, when they're not able to run, just get something going. That the pass was underthrown to Hamilton as Chandler threw it, and it come down a little below his feet. But I tell you what, I'll take a lot of short passes and a couple of incompletions than trying to throw the long pass, break something wide open, and throwing a couple of interceptions any day.
That is true. You know, that's what the Cougars need to do. They just need to get Chandler's confidence built up.
You know, I just noticed there, even though Chandler underthrew that receiver there, he was throwing off his front foot like usual, but he really did look comfortable back there, and maybe that distance from the line there is giving him a little confidence. Maybe they can get something going out of it.
Backed up, it'll be 3rd down, about 11 yards to go. Chandler across the middle, Brown and pass, and is caught and looked like it'd be for the 1st down. So I tell you what, it's another good play by Brown across the middle, and he's making himself tonight. He's sitting there. I guess I won't just. And Adam, he's looking at Brown. I hope you look at him right now, kind of close up. Look at his hand. I told you I've been messing with him about his gloves on his hands, like he was taking them off, and he's done a good job of able catching the football tonight, just making big plays after he's caught the ball.
You know, we've talked about your brother Chandler and everything about throwing off his front foot and underthrowing receivers, but I've noticed tonight the 2 passes that he did throw off his back foot, he got real high and they was intercepted. So maybe this is what they need, is for him to throw them low passes like that.
Another completion in there to Stigall. That time a gain of about 4 yards. So I tell you what, maybe this is something to look forward to next game. You get out and you see what this offense can do when you're just able to put the ball in the receiver's hands. You have Watts out there, you have Stigall, and you have Parker, and you have Brown and Hamilton able to catch the ball and do a little magic after they catch the ball, or maybe run for some yardage. So this is something to look forward to, maybe a little game plan, not just for the rest of the night, but maybe to look forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, sort of just run that 2-minute drill offense. That's sort of what the Cougars are in right now. Spread them out and run it down the field, and just pick up short yardage, pick up change, and move the ball.
Again, Chandler drops back, tries to hit over in the pot. Oh, and the play is dropped there by look like Pepper Watts. So almost a score, but right in the hands of Pepper Watts is just dropped, incomplete pass. But I tell you what, it was a good pump fake and a good pass out to the open man in the flat.
That's true. That's the key thing you want to do right there. Sort of pump fake, make them bite, and then just go to the opposite way. That's the only thing he did. He went to the same side. Maybe if he would have switched ways and went to Dudley that time, he might have had him open. But that's one thing you want to do. It's one thing you want to do. Just sort of make the defense sort of guess what you're going to do. And now the Cougars are doing that. They're spread out the field and making the defense earn it.
You know, there's a lot of people in high school football say that you need to run in high school football, but one of the things is that if you can throw some little short passes or something in there, them linebackers are going to have to get out and guard them receivers and help out in the defensive back area, and that also opens up the run. And I'm a firm believer in throwing them little short passes.
We have maybe a timeout on the field as another drive is stalled by an interception. So it is middle ways through the 4th quarter. We'll take a break here. You're watching Cougar football on TV7 Bruce, TV 34, Calhoun City. We're back to action here at Billy D. Cook Field. 6 minutes and almost to go in the 4th quarter. Strider takes the ball, looks like on about the 9-yard line. Cougars set up in defense. Like they will punt the ball on 1st down, so Hamilton is back to receive and just nowhere to go. But again, that's just, I don't know. That's basically saying, you know, we got you beat, so you just do what you want to do. We're going to punt the ball on 1st down.
Hey, you know what I do right here in this situation? Punt it right back to them. Say, hey, you will keep the ball the whole night. We'll do it. I mean, if they're going to take and do that, why not do it back to them? I mean, go ahead. If they just want to make a mockery out of a ball game, I mean, just play their game with them.
That is true. I tell you what, that right there still just undermines me. I don't like to see that. I don't like to do that. I mean, you hear about it all the time, not wanting to run the score up, but I mean, I don't know if running the score up not hurt the pride of the kids than just punting the ball on 1st down. So I don't know, but Cougars back in the shotgun formation again, starting out. Chandler back to pass. Hit Brown. The ball is batted up in the air. Batted around, tipped around, and falls incomplete. But again, Chandler wants to go across the field to Brown. Brown a little slow getting up on the field. And tell you what, Jeremy Brown's done a pretty good job trying to catch the football this year. I know against Central Holmes in the back of the end zone, they tried to make a late comeback. Was able to get a touchdown. He had a touchdown pass reception against Hebron. He's done a good job tonight of catching the football. That time right there, he just a little high, and he tried to go up for it, and he tipped off his hands, and he seemed to be a little shaken up, a little slow to get up. He looked like he may be all right. He's coming back into the game, but Adam, we see the little short passes, and Marshall, you see it too, that they just seem like they can work if you just, really practice on it instead of practice on all these other different formations. Just get something that seems like it works and try to work for it toward the next game.
Yeah, that right there is just an example of how Dudley plays. He knows he had 3 guys around him that time, but he stretched up and sacrificed. And, he paid the price that time. He took a cheap shot at the helmet and the reels, but he'll probably be out there here before long, or he might just call him a night just to keep him safe. But that's one person the Cougars have got to ride. If they're going to throw the ball, they got to throw it to Jeremy. He's doing a good job tonight catching the ball. And so that's one person you'll have to go to a little bit more often.
Pass is just thrown up and it falls incomplete. The pass is intended for Rusty Stegall out there on the outside. But again, Cougars look like they're going for the long ball instead of trying to do short pass and just getting the ball in the receiver's hand and getting up the field.
You're right, Chris. I really believe they need to throw some little short passes here and get it going. They still got a little bit of time left. They got 4 minutes and 49 seconds. It's third down now. If they throw one short pass and come back maybe with a running play or something like that, I think it'd be very effective.
Jeremy Brown has checked back into the ball game, so we'll see what the Cougars elect to do this time. Of course, they should be passing the ball. But they're going to have to call a timeout. Everybody wasn't on the same page.
We're here. Officials it look like it's a timeout for the Cougars, so we'll take a timeout here for TV7 Bruce. We're back to action here. The Cougars in shotgun formation, 3rd down and 10. You have 5 wide receivers out. Chandler drops back in the pass. A little coverage going across the middle. Looks like it's going to be underthrown. Again, Hamilton's intended target. A little pressure on the quarterback. Cougars will go for it. They probably will go out of shotgun and 5 wide again and get something, get another little short pass going and try to get across the middle and try to get something, maybe a first down to keep this drive going. We've seen all night long just drive after drive been stalled out and just by either Cougar mistakes, turnovers, or just not able to just push the ball on down the field.
Yeah, the Cougars got a lot of questions to answer after this ball game. Main question they got to answer: who's going to step up and be the team leader? I mean, that's what this team's lacking right here. You got to have one vocal person that's going to be on the field and really getting this team hyped up. You got to have somebody just to do that for the Cougars.
There's a pass out to Stegall. Looks like it will be for the first down. Everybody around here telling Chandler to run, but I know Josh, and I've sit here and me and him talked about game after game about him throwing the ball, and he don't want to run. He doesn't like to run. He wants to try to pass the ball, try to make something happen. A lot of times, trying to make something happen, he messes up and has a mistake and throws an interception. But I guess right now, he had a long way to go from where he was in the backfield, so might as well try to throw a pass and try to get something going. Cougars coming in shotgun formation, 1st and 10. You have Stegall and Watts out here to the right, and Brown and Hamilton, and look like maybe Conley out to the side. No, it'll be Hollis out to the side. Chandler Ayers out. And again will be picked off with like a rerun route, and ooh, there's a shot in there. Chandler knocks out of bounds. Stegall is popped in there after the interception, so I tell you what, it's just maybe we'll see another punt. That'll be another interception by Chandler. But again, Stegall hit hard after that play. But Strider Rams offense will do on this set.
The first half, Strider really dominated the Cougars up and down the field, defense and offense. But the second half, the Cougars have really put together some nice drive. But it just seems that they've had a lot of mistakes. They've thrown a lot of interceptions. I believe they even had a fumble. They really just gave this second half to them.
coming up here. About 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. It's 45-0. Strider Rams leading Calhoun Academy Cougars, and it looks like this time they won't punt. Maybe just trying to. They got a big back set, like a power I formation. Able to give the ball. The quarterback keeper around the end is pitched to the outside. And finally, there's a fumble on the play. Looked like recovered in there by Tyler Hollis for the Cougars. Hollis did come up with a ball for the Cougars. So Cougars will have another set, another chance of trying to, I guess, air the ball out and try to make something happen.
Chris, maybe Strider should have punted that time. They'd have probably left them a little further away from the goal.
That is true, but, you know, I guess that right there helped on the stat sheet for the turnovers and everything, because these guys really pride themselves on, you know, I know I've been keeping defensive stats for them the past few games, and they really, every time after the game, they always ask how many tackles do I have, but, you know, I guess, you know, anything right now, the offense stats may not be looking too good, so I guess maybe some of them take pride in some of the defensive stats. As Hollis recovered that fumble for the Cougars, and the Cougars set up, and Jordan Collins is now the Pepper Watts is down the sideline. He will be tackled out of bounds by number 44, but you have a new quarterback in there, and Jordan Collins. Cougars come out and sweep out to the right by Pepper Watts. Big gain on the play, so finally something good out of the running game, but I don't know, like maybe have a different third or maybe second or third string in there for Strider, so maybe try to get a couple plays and just let a couple of kids that, you know, hadn't had a chance to play much this year. Chandler gets back in at quarterback, and you have Collins and Watts out here, and you have Hamilton and Hollis and Brown out wide on the left. Pass over there. Ooh. Pass in there from Chandler looked like over there to Hamilton, but a big stick and a big knockaway by one of the Strider defensive players. Brown helps Hamilton up. Hamilton did take a big shot going across that middle. Had a good way to get them ribs hurt right there.
Yeah, I guess Brown's going to come over and help him out because he knows how I feel. He took the same shot a while ago, but I believe the officials are going to take and let him out, as he did take a big shot there. Good time at that time by number 22, Wilson, Corey Wilson, to take and get in there and not get the pass interference called.
Number 22, you know, really has a lot of speed, and playing football myself, I'd a lot rather get hit by a big guy than a fast guy. When they're running full speed and hit you, it seems to affect you a lot more.
That is true. I've seen that a lot of times. A lot of times these little small defensive backs you see in college or pros or safeties or something like that, and they got a good head of steam, and somebody going across that middle, they can really, you know, lay a lick on you because they're so fast and bring a lot of momentum in with them. Cougars come up second down and 10, and is out of shotgun formation. Chandler rolls out to his right. He will tuck it down and run the ball. Stay on his feet. Chandler looks like he will be shaken up right there. Like he took a little helmet-to-helmet hit over toward the sideline. As Chandler, they were looking at him on the sideline, so like they will have a timeout called on the field, injury timeouts, and we'll take a timeout too. 1:36 to go in the ball game. You're watching TV 7, Bruce, TV 34, Calhoun City. We're back to action here as Chandler gets up off side, a little dazed, a little woozy. Looked like he took a little shot to the head. It looked like we'll have Jordan Collins come in and replace him at quarterback, and that may be all for Chandler for tonight. He's thrown the ball fairly successful tonight. When he has thrown the ball, he's had some interceptions, but, you know, really, Cougars hadn't really been able to do anything on offense tonight. Neither the running game nor the pass game have been a big deal. So Collins replaced Chandler in at quarterback, and instead of having all the wide receivers out in shotgun, they come in the normal I formation. You have White and Stegall in the backfield and Collins under the center. The play is called. There'll be fumble snap there and be just a desperate pitch out to Stegall, and was able to pick up 2 or 3 yards. But I tell you one thing I've really noticed about the Strider defense tonight is it's been 4 or 5 guys around the play every time somebody has had a tackle. Been 4 or 5 guys there, not just 1 or 2. It's been a whole group effort.
that is the case. Going back to the Cougars, they really didn't come out and play tonight. This is not the Cougar team we've seen. It's hyped up like, yeah, we're going to come out and play a good ball game, but they had a lot of early mistakes that really killed them. Sort of got the momentum down, and they got a lot to work on, but really got a lot of questions and answers for the Cougars, as in, who's going to step up, who's going to be our leader. As there's a pass incomplete intended for Jeremy Brown. 16 seconds left to go here in the ball game, and of course, this has not been a Cougar-type ball game. They really didn't come out and execute like they wanted to. They've got, as I said, they got a lot of questions to answer. They've got a whole week to rebuild coming into homecoming against Deer Creek. This is not a way you like to go into homecoming, Marshall, losing this type of ball game. Of course, this is the best team in the division, but you like to just come out with a little bit of respect.
You're right, Adam. It doesn't matter how high a team's ranked or how good they are. Any beating like this really affects you. Punting on first downs and stuff like that, it really hurts your pride. And going into the game next week, hopefully I can just put this game behind them and come back and give us a win.
And with that, that's going to be the end of your ball game. Final score, 45-0. Strider takes this one without a problem. We'll be back here next week from Cougar Field, or Billy D. Cook Field, for homecoming activities. Everybody be sure to come out and get behind this Cougar team. Of course, they got their head down tonight, and they got the whole week to rebuild and refocus. This game's over with. There's nothing they can do about it now. They just got Deer Creek to look to.
You're watching the Game of the Week on TV 7, TV 34. Thanks for watching your community TV station. You've been watching a presentation of TV 7, TV 34 Sports, our Game of the Week on TV 7. Thanks for watching TV 7, TV 34, and all of our cable affiliates. Join us next week for our Game of the Week in high school football.